Hello there everybody, how are we all doing? It is your favourite commentator, Soup, back again, once again for another commentary. Today it is round number 1 of the Formula C live and uninterrupted from the desert of Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca, a very famous track, of course, situated in California, famous for hosting, famous for hosting, sorry, I'm eating right now. Famous for hosting a couple of F1 Grand Prix, etc, etc. But very nice flowing track. Lots of undulating elevation changes, etc, etc. Should be a good race. Formula C today, the first round. So every position counts now, as points will go towards the championship, and we are looking at the man cashing it, sitting on top right now. So the order today will decide the first order of the championship and see who is leading who. So we're going to go through your order for today. Today we have Cashing It, we have Adrenalina, we have Giorgio, we have Broken Arrow, who's using a different account, just to make it easier for us to read. Ilson, we have Nico Perez, we have Nick Kang, we have Dan, we have Ferrelli, we have Fuoco, Borch, Vectro, and that will round out your grid for now. So, nope, Cash just had a spin at the top of the top of that blind corner there. So I'm having a quick snack right now. I hope you'll excuse me for the chewing sounds, but it has to be done. For those of you who are interested, I'm eating Pringles. And hello to Lucas Sarametta, and hello to Billy O'Connor. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy. We have 30 minutes of qualifying. It's currently Cash on top. I did forget to actually get up all the information. I will do that right now, if I can. So this is the first official round. The rest of the rounds have been pre-season. And of course every point counts from now on, so it should be interesting to see which driver will come out on top at the end of today, because they will lead the championship going into the next round. So currently it's 0.3 of a second between first and second at the moment. I'm going to get up some information about Laguna Seca just to educate all of you, and just to make sure, because I think I'm mixing this place up with Watkins Glen with NASCAR and IndyCar and stuff. It does host quite a few things, but I don't think NASCAR is one of them. I could be wrong though. But of course it is sponsored by Mazda, so they have that behind them. So yeah, famous for hosting it did actually host a couple of IndyCar races where there was actually a fatal accident with Gonzalo Rodriguez. It was actually at the Corkscrew. It was Cashing It coming through there now. He's on the exit there. We have Adrenalina popping in front by 0.2 of a second there. But we'll watch Giorgio. Gonzalo Rodriguez had a horrific accident. Unfortunately, he did die in that accident. But he went straight on at the Corkscrew. The car dug into the barrier and he flipped over the top of the guardrail and landed upside down near the photographers. Tragic incident involving I think it was a Penske car at that time as well. But over the years, it has hosted the Can-Am, the Trans Am, the Formula 5000, the IMSA, those classic GT cars, the American Le Mans, the historic automobile races, the Speed World Challenge, and the American Motorcycle Association, and of course the World Superbikes and the MotoGP. It has hosted over the years. So hello to everybody who's in the stream right now. I'll get to you and say hello to you. Hello to Rip It Up, who says, apologies, I can't make it tonight, work commitments I'm afraid. Best of luck to everyone, hope it's a good clean race. Go Borch. Borch is here, I think he is there. Yeah, Ethan says only one commentator. Unfortunately, yes. Nick Kang is the Italian commentator. If you want to check him out, his YouTube is Nick something ITA. So if you want to check out some Italian commentary, go check that out yourself. And I'm going to eat a Pringle while this goes on. Yum. Please sponsor me. Now, can we say something? Giorgio, Vectro, 1,000 of a second between them. That's how close it gets. That's basically the same. It's incredibly close. Ethan says, nonetheless, I have brilliant news. Do tell us. Well, tell me. I'm the only one here. We only have one slot tonight, because Bowie couldn't make it. He's on holiday right now, and is going to turn 18 on Saturday, so a happy birthday, early happy birthday to Bowie. Hope he has a good one. Hope he doesn't go too crazy. Yum. Pringles are good. Sorry, I'm eating. Ah, that was really nice. Yeah, Adrenalina, Cash and Giorgio. Now, Adrenalina and Giorgio were, of course, rivals in the previous Formula Golf Championship, and of course, they've become teammates now. So the old rivals have reunited to go against Cash and Ferrelli. Ferrelli, of course, the Formula B world champion, come down to Formula C, and Vectro, his nearest competitor, apart from Cash. Apart from that, Ilson was also a competitor in the Formula Golf Championship. Broken Arrow was in Formula B. Nico was in LMP3. I think he's driving for the Stroopwafel racing team, of course. Named after a type of waffle. Not even joking. Borch also was in Formula B. Nick Kang is a commentator. Dan, of course, was in... what was he? He was LMP3 last time out, and he's now in GT3 in Formula C. Fiocco was, of course, Formula B, driving for Kalpa. That rounds out everything. Let me actually get up your teams. And welcome, Ethan, to Academy Season 2. Good job. Welcome aboard. I'm finished my Pringles now. I'm kind of sad. But, I'm looking forward to this one. It's actually been a little while since I've been in the commentary box. Good to see Vector take an excursion to avoid a car that's hurtling down the track. Appears to be cashing it. It is indeed. 2400 separate him from first. Let's see what he can do. Oh man, that's good. Oh, let me just quickly get up my my little stats page, just so Cash spins in the pit lane. So your teams are GIRT, which is made up of Fiocco and Gavra. Of course, well, Gavra's not here. Vector is parked up, so we have a panning drone shot of him stuck on the side of the track. Bori Racing Team, which is Borch, and of course Rip It Up, who said he couldn't be here because of his work commitments. That is absolutely fine, sir. Ferrari B, we all know who Ferrari B are. That's Cash and Ferrelli. Kalpa is Vectro and Broken Arrow. Where's Vectro? He was on the side of the track a previous moment ago. There's Broken Arrow and there's Vectro. RX Racing is Pogo EID, who's not here. Sturfoffel is Bowie and Nico has turned up here today. OMS Team Italia is, of course, Giorgio and Adrenalina, both Italians. Ilson and Van make up ART Grand Prix Racing. And there's a bit of a... Oh dear, that was a bit close there between one of the Stroopwafel cars and Cash. Very close to the top right now. There's still about... almost half the session gone. Adrenalina is out front right now, not by much though, so this could get interesting. And lots of Joanna Matashida. And Ethan says he's getting a G29. I have a G29, really recommend it. Great wheel. You'll love it, honestly. Great wheel. Although, just watch the brakes, because the brakes have a resistance to them. They have a rubber stopper behind them, which makes it a little bit harder to press. It gets a bit. You'll get used to it after a while, but you got to build up a bit of leg muscle. You can, of course, adjust your dead zones. But yeah. Anyways, I actually forgot to turn off my notifications. Excuse the blue screen for a second. I'm just going to turn those off because we don't want interruptions. That'll be the last you'll see of that blue screen, hopefully. Here we go. Yep, Adrenaline on top at 2400 a second. Giorgio third, and we get a kind of a hovering shot of him in the gravel. Vectro on track right now. Coming up to the blind corner there. That's uphill. You only see the apex really about now. He gets that absolutely perfectly. Downforce of the car helping him grip the bottom. Well, grip the bottom, grip the track. Down the corkscrew, most famous corner on this track. Of course, very, very tough to get right. He's coming through the final sector now. And down to the final corner, hard on the brakes. Careful not to get on the power too early. And run it out wide as far as you can. And down across the line. What will this be? It looks like quite a good lap. I think it's an improvement. No, it's not actually. It was slower. So looking at these sector times, it's 25.9s and 25.9s. This might be good from Cash. Let's see what he can do. Across the line, it's not going to be fast. It's going to be slower by 0.2 of a second. And Adrenalina stays on top for now. He's sitting at 25.924 in that first sector there. And Vector with a 25.902 in that first sector. He's actually following Adrenalina there. Oh, very, very close indeed. Adrenalina's going to have to let him through there. Doesn't want to get involved with the Dutchman, who recently celebrated his 100th Grand Prix in Gavra racing. So congratulations to him. There will be a few events held for him, so we could see some stuff like that cropping up in the future. But well done to Vectro. I'm sorry I missed it, but there wasn't enough slots for the English commentators, so we'll congratulate him on his 101st or 2nd Grand Prix. 20.0, definitely not as fast as Cash. 19.4 in the middle sector there from Cash in the Ferrari B car. Try to get that livery as close to Ferrari as they can. A bit of green on there. Down to the final corner we come. On the brakes, keeping it tight to the apex, run it out wide. Careful not to let the gravel grab you there. And down towards across the line, it is fastest for cashing it across the line at 112.7. So we're seeing times pretty similar to Monaco here. So quite the same kind of distance, but very good lap from Cash there. 0.4 of a second quicker than Adrenalina. And Ferrari actually popped into third there. Ripido says, so I'm going to drive that clappers home. I might just make it. You got 15 minutes, man. You got 15 minutes. Well, 10 technically. If you miss the 5-minute mark, you can't get in. But I believe in you, Officer Ripid. So Adrenalina, 19.6, 0.2 slower in the middle sector than Cash, but can he get himself a little bit closer? Because it's almost half a second gap to the man out front. A little bit too much of the curb there, more than he would have liked, I would think. And through the final corner, let's see what Adrenalina can do. I think that was a bit wide from him across the line there. It's going to be 13 months, a slight improvement. It's definitely not going to be enough to catch Cash there. So Ferrari currently from Vectro, a second off, surprisingly a second off. And down the back we have Gavra, who has in fact arrived in the GIRT machine. Fuoco sitting in 11th place right now. I don't think that he hasn't set a representative lap just yet. He's run a bit wide there, so that's going to compromise him. Dan is sitting in 10th position, 0.2 off of Borch, who sits in 9th at the moment. Nico Perez with a 1:16.0 sits in 8th for Stroopwafel Racing. Broken Arrow for Kalpa sits in 7th place. Ilson for ART sits in 6th position. Vector for Calva sits in 5th, Ferrari for Ferrari B sits in 4th, Giorgio for OMS Team Italia 3rd, Adrenalina for OMS Team Italia 2nd, and out in front right now, in pole position, is catching it for Ferrari B Team. Down the corkscrew he comes, he sets another great middle sector, 19.427 for him. This could be even quicker again for the Englishman there. Let's see what he can do. These Formula C cars, just a little bit more powerful than the Formula Gulfs. They are the equivalent of the Formula Renault 2.0, which are very light and very nimble cars, and have that trademark exhaust, or well, I'm not sure if that might be an intake. Excuse me, that's an intake on the side. These cars, I'm not sure what kind of horsepower they produce, but I might find that out. But I did actually forget to get the corner names of Laguna Seca, but I do know the first corner is the Andretti hairpin. Of course, we all know the famous corkscrew. We saw a car go off there. It looks like Nico in the Stroopwafel car. Quickly get that up. Cash on his way. 25.6 in the first sector. That's very good. 19.446 in the middle sector is going to be another good lap. I think he's just testing his race pace now. Yes, indeed. We have the Andretti hairpin now. It's turn 2. We've no names up until corner number 6, and then we have the Rabal straight down to the corkscrew, and then we have the Rainy curve through turn 10 and 11. So a few of them have names. So across the lines could be another improvement from Cash. It is not. It's still a 12 though, so very good laps from Cash there. Question from Matt Sheeter. Just a question. I have a T300 and it's starting to be a problem. I want to buy a new one. What should be best? T500 or G29? T500 probably. Well, I'm not an expert on that now, so you might have to go look up videos on it because, well, my G29, I really like it because it's my first wheel. Very sturdy wheel, very nice feel to it. Kind of has a leather feel around the front. There's like a 24 digit dial on the front there. Clutch, aluminium pedals, clutch, brake resistance, and accelerator. I think there's an ART car going off in the background. It's carriage at the corkscrew. A lot of cars going after the 2 ART cars. So I believe van has arrived. Let me just quickly check for that. There's 2 ART cars there. Could be Broken Arrow. Oh, it's Ilson and some other car. That's the roof off the car of Nico spinning at the corkscrew there. What can Vectro do? He's on a good middle sector there. Can he get in front of Giorgio? That would be an essential thing for him. 26-2 in the first sector is not quite a good. It's quite good, but not good enough. Let's see what he can do. Jump to 4th, can he? No, he can't. It's actually quite a bad lap from him. Adrenalina doesn't look like he's going to be able to improve. It was 19.3 from Cash. He's just displaying his speed there. Quite amazing. 25.7 for Adrenalina. A little bit quicker than Cash. Right on board with Adrenalina as he comes up to the blind apex at turn number 6. Down the Rabal straight up to the corkscrew. You rise up. Then you get a little bit of flat, then you rise up, and then you get on the brakes very hard indeed. Get it tight into the apex, blind apex again, down you go, very tough corner. Easy to spin out. Then this is a lovely corner to feel the downforce of the car, don't run too wide. Then another off camber corner, banked corner, he's run a bit wide there, he's not going to be happy with that. And then on the brakes, very hard indeed, tighter than it looks this corner, almost a hairpin. And then down the final straight, 19.7 from him, not going to be an improvement or nothing. Might be an improvement to it. Can he get in the 12s? No, he can't. 13.7 from him. Giorgio can improve, but not enough to get himself in front of Ferrari. Vectro, what can he do? Better first sector and a good middle sector. Let's see what he can do. Across the line comes the Dutchman. Can he get jump in front of Giorgio? No, he can't. I think could have been an outlap actually. 8 minutes to go. What can Vectro do? So quite a sizable gap between first and second. Quite a small gap between second and third. A couple of tenths separating third and fourth, and 2 tenths separating fourth and fifth. 4 tenths to sixth, and then a big gap down to seventh. Gavra doing well in 8th there. Vectro set at 25.9. It's not looking good to get above Giorgio here. Struggling maybe in the Kalpa car. What can you do in the middle sector? Adrenalina, good middle sector from him. We'll keep an eye on him for now. 19.6 for Vectro, 19.4 for Adrenalina. Let's see what he can do. This is very good. Let's see if he can improve it all to a 12 maybe. 12.7 he can do. Oh, that's ever so close. 37 hundredths of a second between Adrenalina and Cash. But I think Cash is improving massively. 26.1 in the first sector for Cash. What can he do in the middle sector? It's going to be lightning quick. Let's see what he can do. It's going to be a 19.6. It's not as quick actually. Could equal out though. Let's see what Cash can do. 37 hundredths of a second is barely anything. Let's see what Cash can do as he comes through the final sector at Laguna Seca. Down to the final corner. On the brakes he will go. Try not to lock it up. Keep it tight to the apex. Very nicely taken from Cash. Can he snatch pole position? He's already on pole, but can he show his dominance? No, he can't. It was actually 13.6. So, can Adrenalina challenge it? A 19.5 in the middle sector. 25.5 is a good first sector from him. Adrenalina might be able to challenge here. Let's see what happens. Oh, he's gone off. So, he's got to back out of that. And Ferrari, a good sector from him. 19.4. 7 minutes left. So, there's still a little bit of time. I'm going to take a little break, actually, because I'm starting to mess up my words a little bit. So down the final straight, Ferrari comes. Can he cause an upset here? Across the line, it's a slight improvement, but not enough to get near Adrenalina or Cash. So it's the battle between the Formula Golf champion and the Formula B champion. 25-8 versus 19-6. Don't think this is going to be an improvement. We'll see though. Cash can pull miracles. Got right on board to the final sector. On the brakes, hit that apex. He hits it lovely. Just hit that curb. You hear the rumble strips. He comes across the line. It's going to be a 12-9. Adrenalina is back on a lap again. I think it's going to be an out lap though. Yes, it is an out lap. Broken Arrow with some reasonably good times there. That was on the previous lap. Vectro has in fact put it in front of Giorgio there. We didn't see that, but he has done it, and he's only a 10th off Ferrelli, so this could get interesting. But Ferrelli, fastest middle sector. Where did that come out of? 19.3 for Ferrelli. This is surely going to be an improvement. Across the line. A 12.9, he's got even closer, so Ferrelli doing very well. But currently it's Adrenalina splitting the two Ferrari B cars. He's about to go on a lap now. And Cash is just doing some race runs, I think. Keeping his pace up. Adrenalina, we're going to ride on board for his lap. As he comes down to turn 1 to the Andretti hairpin on the brakes, keeping it tight to the apex as tight as he can. Let the car roll through, then get on the power as he come out. Don't let it run too wide. Then get to turn number 2. Tight little corner this one, deceivingly. And then this corner is almost flat, slight lift. And then on the power on the apex and run it out to sector 1. That's a 26.1. Not good enough, I think. He needs another lap to get that thing up to speed. But let's see. Maybe he can set a good middle sector to equal that out. He only needs about, I don't know, half a wheel length. What's it going to be in the middle sector? It's going to be a 19.60. He needs to improve. Tyres probably not up to temperature just yet. Excuse me. Someone going off there. That's Borch, I think, in the Boriv car. And Rip It Up has in fact made it. There he is. He's made it, ladies and gentlemen. Just about. By the skin of his teeth, he's made it. So Adrenalina does a 19.4, but I think that's going to be an outlap. So here we go. Adrenalina, can he get in front of Cash and cause an upset in the Formula C? So through sector 1 he comes. Can he do faster than Cash? I don't think he's going to be able to. He's got on the gravel there. It's going to cost him. How many minutes are left? 3:37. He's got another shot after this. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. 26.0. Not going to be able to improve. Cash is on a lap as well. What can Cash do? Oh, I've got quite a bit of wind. I'm yawning a lot. Excuse me. 25.6 for Cash in the first sector. What can you do in the middle sector? Well, Adrenaline's done 19.8, so he's gonna have to have another shot at this. 3 minutes remain. He might have another go after the... Yeah, he will have another go. 19.5 for Cash. He's currently just doing some race runs. Ferrelli's getting a little bit closer. I don't think he's going to come out again. But we shall see. So Adrenaline is doing a 14.7. Either that or he's doing high fuel runs. Might have just given up on getting that little bit extra off Cash. I think he's just going to accept where he is. So it's a 12.9 for Cash again. Chucks it in the pit lane. That's going to be it from Cash. Can Adrenalina snatch it maybe? Oh, maybe he can. A 25.5 in the first sector for Adrenalina. This could be close. We have a qualifying battle on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Cash will not have enough time to come out. Oh, does he? He does come out. I think he's seeing that Adrenalina is setting good sector times. So here we go. Up the hill comes Adrenalina. What can he do in the middle sector? It's going to be 19.4. It's a good lap from Adrenalina. He's got a bit of traffic though from, I think that's Gav. Oh no, he's bottled it on the exit of the corkscrew. He was on a good lap as well. He's got another shot though. He doesn't have to worry too much. I think he's going to back off. He's going to have one more shot at this. So Good signs of pace from Adrenalina there. In the 59. He's going to back off and get some space to the car in front. He's going to have one more shot at pole here. So cashing it. Will he have enough time to come around? He won't. Yes, cashing it will run out of time. So Adrenalina, this is your last chance. Here we go. 37/100ths of a second to find. Here we go. Through the first turn comes Adrenalina. The Andretti hairpin on the exit. Gets it very nice indeed. And through turn number 2, maybe doing some high fuel runs. Let's see what he can do. He's got the Stroopwafel car of Nico Perez ahead. This might not help him. Here he comes. Nico gets out of the way very nicely. 25.6, good sector. Not as quick as his previous one, but he might be able to equal that out in the middle sector. So here comes Adrenalina. As we stare at the ground with some great camera work from our cameraman there. Oh, he's bounced over the sausage curve there. I think it might be a glitch there, but up the hill comes Adrenalina. It's going to be in 19, surely 19.6 mightn't be enough. His previous lap was better. So he's going to get caught by the GIRT car again. He's bottled it at the corkscrew. Cashing it is going to be your pole sitter today. And Nick Kang has in fact disconnected, so we've lost our Italian commentator. Well, isn't that just great? So Italian coverage has stopped. Oh, there's been a big accident at turn 1. Adrenalina and the GIRT car of Gav. Was that Gav involved or was that Fuoco? That was a huge impact between those two. They're both in the gravel. Hopefully they're both okay. But it is Cashner who takes pole here today. Not by much though. So good signs ahead. So your grid for today is Cashner, Adrenalina, Pirelli, Vectro, Giorgio, Ilson, Broken Arrow, Gavra, Nico, Dan, Borch, Fuoco, and Rip It Up, and that rounds out your grid for today. 13 drivers sit here. Nick Kang has disconnected, so no Italian coverage. It's just me in the commentary box alone at Laguna Seca. Are we going to have a warm-up? Yes, we are. So we're going to just go to the monitor real quick and just let you know. If you do have any questions or comments to send us, please do let us know. Eden says it looked like a very intentional crash there. It did indeed look very strange from Adrenaline. I might have to look back at that. Train of cars coming out, probably just to come out and practice starts on cold tyres. Very strange accident indeed. There was a big accident involving them there. Whew. Probably need to stop speaking so fast. Might have felt that I had a beer before I came on. Nah, I'll be fine though. I'll be fine. So Rip It Up, Officer Rip It made it. He made it home, and he's going to be racing in the incorrect livery, but we'll ignore that because his teammate is Borch. Just remember that. He should be in that livery, but we'll ignore that. We all know who he is. So we're happy he made it. Rushed home and got here by the skin of his teeth. But today, we will have how many laps have we got here today? From the C calendar. I think this is going to be quite long. It is 70 laps. That's a long race. That's upwards. That's a couple of hours at least. Where's my calculator? So we'll say the race pace will be 1.13 by 70. Give us about 79 minutes maybe. It'll be about an hour and 20 minutes maybe. Perhaps. Well, we'll check the previous one. I know, was there a previous stream here? I was 70 laps of Sonoma last time. This shouldn't be too bad then. Be about an hour and 20 minutes this race. So about normal length for this. But I'm excited to be back in the commentary box once again, as I am always. 2 minutes to go to lights out here. racing on the track with this on the side. I hope you'll give Stroopwafel sponsors some YouTube time. I will. Who are your sponsors? Let me know. What brand of Stroopwafel is sponsoring you? There's Stroopwafel. Stroopwafel is actually is like a type of Dutch waffle, I think. So I don't know why they named it after that. That was Bowie's idea. It's Bowie's the team principal as far as I know, but he's off on gallivanting on holiday. But should be about an hour and a half of a race, and not so bad. Not as bad as Sonoma. That was about a 2-hour race, maybe even longer. Longer laps there, of course. The race will not go on until 11:30. Well, it depends on where you are in the world. It'll be about 10:30 for me. How long would we go? 50 seconds till lights out. Cashing in on pole, of course. Adrenalina will sit second, splitting the Ferrari B cars with Ferrari third. Who is going to get it, I wonder? It's going to be interesting to see the run now to turn one. Now, these cars, they do have quite an exposed wheelbase, so that will mean that they will flip quite easily if wheels become tangled. And we have lost a driver. We have lost Fuoco. So he will not be racing today. A shame to see him go. And Giorgio going for a spin, literally. Lighting up the tyres on the way out. Drivers will probably be practicing their starts. 8 seconds to go, the lights out. Cashing on pole. This is the first round of the Formula C Championship. Great to be back commentating once again. It's been a while since I've had Formula C here on the channel. Well, it's never been on the channel, but we haven't had it in a while in the GAVRA League. So very much looking forward to it. We've got some great drivers here today. Cashing on pole. Looking forward to the run out to turn one. So all I can say, ladies and gentlemen, is grab me popcorn. We are about to go racing. So, in the sweltering desert of America, the Formula C cars rev their engines, ready to go for the first round of Formula C, live and uninterrupted from the desert of California. Those lights light up. And it's lights out, and away we go at Laguna Seca. Now, if they go off the line together, they look like they have. Cashman has got a bad start, and it's going to be Ferrari, and it's going to be Adrenalina down to the turn one. It's going to be Ferrari on the outside as they come out to turn one, and there's a bit of cones flying everywhere, but it's Adrenalina who's got the start. Ferrari's now in third, trying to go around the outside. Not going to work. Giorgio in fourth. That's Vectro getting his way through the field in fourth, up to fourth now. Past Giorgio there. Broken Arrow in 6th, Ilson in 7th, and that's Rip It Up, banging wheels with him there. Gavra down in 9th, Borch in 10th with Dan in 11th, and that's Nico going around the outside. There's a car going off there, that's Borch there. Up the front though, it's Adrenalina who's got the jump. Amazing start from him. Cash 2nd, Ferrari 3rd, Vectro now 4th, Ilson 5th. Broken Arrow now in 6th. And a little bit of train of cars there. Giorgio now 7th. Terrible start from him. I think he might be looking to get past the car of Broken Arrow there. Let's see. Down to the corkscrew. Not going to try anything too ambitious just yet. Down the corkscrew they all come. All cleanly so far. But what a start from Adrenalina. Nailing it. And is now pulling a gap. Cashing it down to 2nd. And in the background we have Ilson having a spin and off go. That's actually who was that? That would look like it was actually Broken Arrow. Excuse me. Big spin, big moment. But I think this is one of the Stroopwafel cars challenging Rip It. He goes to the inside. Should be an easy enough move down to turn one. Has he got the speed to get it in front of Officer Rip It? Can he? Yes, he can. On the brakes, and Dan's going to follow suit. So opportunistic driving from Dan there. Great stuff. Rip It's got a penalty, it looks like, of some sort. It looks like it. But great stuff. Dan, opportunistic as always, follows suit. He's now going to be challenging the Stroopwafel car of Nico here. Down the main straight. Or down the back straight, should I say. And in the background, that looks like Broken Arrow challenging. Or he's being challenged by Rip It Up. He's got past Rip It Up, it looks like. And in the background, that's Borch and Giorgio going wheel to wheel. Giorgio's had an awful getaway. He's down in 12th. So what happened, I wonder? Borch having a big off there. And Broken Arrow has got in front of Rip It up there. And up, meanwhile, up front, it is Adrenalina who leads for another lap. Adrenalina followed suit by Cash, followed suit by Ferrelli, followed suit by Vector. The top four in one camera shot. On one straight, it looks like Ilson now in 5th. Gavra, amazing start in 6th. We kind of had a tank slapper coming through the first turn there. Nico now 7th. Dan 8th. Broken Arrow 9th. Giorgio 10th. Borch 11th. Well, I think we've had... that's Borch coming in the pits, actually. Rip It Up having an off there. So damage on Borch's car. But awful getaway from Giorgio. He's all the way down in 10th now. Going to have a hard time recovering from that. And the laps will drain away very quickly. You will notice that. Very quick laps. And we have a car going slowly. That's Dan. And that's one of the ART cars sweeping. That's Broken Arrow going slowly. And he's got on the gravel. He's going to be under pressure from Giorgio here. He's going to move to the inside. Giorgio has got past. And this is going to be Broken Arrow. And it's going to be Dan and... I couldn't actually tell who that was for a second. That's Giorgio going past Dan there. The cars look very similar. That's Ilson, I should remember, in the other car. So he's now going to be challenging Ilson down the corkscrew. Looks at the inside on the exit. Not going to work there. But he's sidling his way through the field very quickly after his terrible start. So, and in the background, Dan going a bit wide. And Van Elk is watching live from Ibiza. Well, have fun in Ibiza, sir. We're watching Giorgio getting a run on Ilson here. His former rival in Formula C. Well, Formula Golf, should I say. Now in Formula C. He goes very defensive, forces him to the outside. Round the outside will go Giorgio. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. Ilson holds it very well. So it's Italy versus Britain, but Giorgio's going to go to the inside and get them moved on. Can Ilson try and hold it? No, he bangs his wheel against the front wing. They both go off, actually. This is going to give Ilson a chance. Well, it's going to give Dan a chance. He goes past both of them. And that's Broken Arrow, excuse me. I'm getting confused by all the blue cars. Giorgio goes up the inside of Broken Arrow again. Broken Arrow tries his best to hold it around the outside. Can he do it, actually? We're going to stare at the ground. And yes, he can, Broken Arrows. Let's see if he can hold it around. This is going to be sketchy. He's going to have to back off there. Giorgio's going to hold the inside as we run up to the corkscrew here. And that in the background is Ilson. So we have a nice three-way battle for 7th here. And down the corkscrew they come. A train of 4 cars. Giorgio and Nico is leading this train. We have a car going slowly in the background. That was Ilson, so he's lost a couple of positions there. Giorgio has now made it up to 7th. He's going to be challenging the Stroopwafel car of Nico here. Nico went a bit wide into the last turn there, and they're going to bang wheels as they come down the main straight. He's going to dip into the slipstream and get as best of a run he can. And to the inside will go. Nico's going to shove him into the pit lane almost. And up the inside will go Giorgio. And in the background, Broken Arrow will try and follow as they battle it out here. Broken Arrow's now on the back of these guys. 66 laps to go. Plenty of action so far. Broken Arrow, can he challenge the Dutchman of Nico here? We will find out shortly as he tries to get the run down the back straight here. Meanwhile, Adrenalina has in fact lost the lead of the Grand Prix. We missed that. So now Cashnet leads again from Ferrelli. So the two teammates are very close together. He had a bad lap the previous time around. So the two Ferrari B teammates are matching each other. And Vectro now 4th, and a lonely 4th actually. Gavra amazingly in 5th position. Giorgio now in 6th, chasing down. We have Nico going wide of the corkscrew. Broken Arrow's going to go around the outside of him there. He's going to get a penalty that might succumb him to Dan here. Let's see. He's going to be compromised as they come through the middle sector here. We did miss the lead change, so apologies for that. But Adrenalina has in fact lost the lead of the Grand Prix. Through the final corner, Dan with the Z will now be challenging for 8th position. In the slipstream, Nico will go defensive. He already is holding the middle of the track, not giving him much room. Dan, a very experienced driver, will back out of that. And actually, Nico will probably go a bit too... No, he holds that very well, actually. So 8th will stay with him. Meanwhile, the two Ferrari B teammates basically matching each other, very close together indeed. Adrenalina, after his good start, not able to keep with them anymore. So a rare mistake. from the Formula Golf champion. Means he now goes down to third. Vectro going quickly as well, so he's not to be ruled out either. He's gone quickly that previous lap. Well, not that previous lap, but this lap he's gone pretty quickly. Might be his best lap, let's see. 14.7 versus all the, well, cashing at 13.1 that previous lap, very quick. Ferrari almost matching him, so the two Ferrari B teammates are holding suit in first and second. And Gavra is now being put under pressure from his fellow Italian, Giorgio. So let's see. Giorgio's very quick in a straight line. Let's see if he can get it on the brake. Gavra will go defensive in the middle of the track, and they almost touch. And Gavra holds on to fifth, and he locks it up as they come to the first turn in the number 1 car. Giorgio in the 58 OMS Italian machine. And we'll try and go up the inside. Gavra will hold it well. And we'll come down the back straight. Surely going to be an easy move down the back straight here. Should hold off. But even so, Gavra doing an extremely good job in good position. I've dropped my controller, and we're going to slide back to that action. I dropped my controller for some reason. I didn't even know I dropped it. And Giorgio challenging Gav as they come rising up to the corkscrew here. See what Giorgio can do as they come to the corkscrew. Gav will go slightly wide, but Giorgio might get the better run on the outside. Gav placing his car very well. And holding suit for now. Giorgio might have a move though. Already lined up at the inside. Will go Giorgio into the final turn. No, he backs out of it. We'll wait to the first turn. But in the background, Broken Arrow is looming. So, well, he's way closer than he was the previous time out. And round will go Giorgio into 5th position. Can Gav come back though? Maybe he won't. He might just sit back and hold 6th position for now. And Broken Arrow will loom in the background. Gavra tried to come back there. Couldn't quite do it in the GIR team machine. Up front, Cash is now building his lead to Ferrari. And Adrenaline are going a little bit quicker than Ferrari in the first sector. Couldn't quite match him in the middle sector. 3.2 seconds separate them. Vectro in the background, 4 seconds behind. And Borch has been lapped by these guys. So now Dan with a Z is closing up on his teammate Ilson, or has Ilson passed him actually? I think Ilson has in fact overtaken him. And Nico Perez a little bit further up the road. Broken Arrow in 7th. Now chasing down Gavra. Coming through the middle sector. And chasing down the league owner. Almost a second quicker, about 7/10 of a second quicker that previous time out. 8/10 of a second quicker than the previous time out. Giorgio now building his lead, trying to catch Vectro if he can. He was quicker than the previous lap. What's his gap? It is 17.6 seconds. It mightn't be enough to catch him on track. Maybe in pit stops. Ferrari has closed up to Cash. Cash has had a penalty, so now Ferrari has closed way up to his teammate Cash here. This could get interesting. The two Ferrari B teammates may go wheel to wheel here. But Cash had a mistake, a rare mistake from the Englishman, Formula B competitor. But his teammate Ferrari was Formula B champion previous time out. So let's see if Ferrari can get the slipstream and maybe try and pass him. So let's see. Yeah, he lost a couple of seconds there. Ferrari in the slipstream. Cash has got good straight line speed though. Can Ferrari challenge it all? Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. In the slipstream, Ferrari will hold off. Cash will go defensive into turn 1. Ferrari will responsibly follow suit. I think that might be his only chance. I'll just hold off here. I think those two guys are in a party together, so they're going to be giving each other team orders. And in the background, Adrenalina is looming. Can we just mention? So good laps being set by him. He can see the two Ferrari V cars now. Still the gap sits at 3.2. But Giorgio, he's closing on Vectro. Big gap though. Broken Arrow now closing in on Gavra. Ilson in 8th. Nico Perez in 9th. Has been passed by Ilson, it looks like. Dan in 10th and Rip It Up in 11th, followed by Borch in a lonely 12th. Now, Broken Arrow, what can you do with Gavra? Can he pass the league owner? Or will he stick behind? 60 laps to go, so these 10 laps have passed pretty quickly. Georgia just a little bit further up ahead. He's building a gap, of course. But up front, the gap remains fairly similar. Second slower from Ferrelli there, and in the background, there's Adrenalina. He's not that far behind. He's gained a couple of tenths there, actually. So let's see. Broken Arrow closer than he was. And love to MKG, who's cheering on Rip It Up. Officer Rip It, as we like to call him here. Gavra going a little bit defensive already. Has Broken Arrow. The German closes in on him. Kick of oversteer from Broken Arrow as he came out of the last turn there. And chasing down the Italian in the GIRT car as they come down the back straight. And Broken Arrow got on the gravel there. Definitely going to compromise him. So it's going to be a slower sector from him. So Gavra doing a great job in 6th position at the moment. There's Adrenalina. Closing on Ferrelli. 2.5 seconds. He's gained quite a bit there. So a tenth quicker. He's not that far off the pace of the leader here. So they're quite close together, the top three here. Vectro is in the background there. He's not competitive with them as of yet, but he is lurking. Giorgio, however, setting quick laps. In the background of all this battle, that wasn't quite a good lap from him there. Gavra in 6th. Broken Arrow's lost time to Gav there in 7th. Ilson 8th. Dan in 9th. Nico Perez 10th. Rip It Up in 11th. And Borch down in 12th position. So we will stick with Adrenalina, who is closing fast on Ferrelli. They were both in the same shot for a second there. So we'll have to wonder what kind of strategy these guys will be playing as we come the halfway mark in this race. Will be the 45 lap mark. No, it won't be. It'll be the 35 lap mark. 35 laps to go, so they will have to stretch out their tyres if they want to go to the halfway mark. So Ferrelli quickest that time around. Closed a little bit on his teammate, switching lap times between them there. So very evenly matched. Pretty much identical that time. And Adrenalina slightly slower. So they're very evenly matched, the top three. Meanwhile, in 7th, Gavra is still holding off Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow's dropped quite a bit of time to him, actually, so Gavra has a little bit of breathing space for now. Meanwhile, Giorgio's still trying to close in on Vector, though the gap doesn't look to be changing too drastically. These guys setting qualifying laps, really. The two Ferrari B, the slipstream helping Ferrelli, of course. But even with that, he's not able to match the pace of his teammate. 12.9, fastest lap of the race for Cash there. Looking forward to the first race of the season, but without my teammate for the first race. Which? Oh, you're in GT3, aren't you, MKG? Yeah, I think you are. Ilson starting to lap quicker than Broken Arrow here. How far is he off Broken Arrow? A little bit of a gap there. Quite a sizable one. Broken Arrow not able to close on Gavra, which is interesting. So, the Ferrari V car is separated by about a second and a half. Now Cash is beginning to pick up the pace slightly, but again Adrenalina was slightly quicker that time. He's staying within about 2 seconds of these guys. So you'll almost be able to see all the Ferrari B cars in one shot, and that's a lapped car of Dan, it looks like, in 10th. Yes, it is. He moves out of the way courteously for these guys. As Nico Perez is about to get lapped by Cash. Hopefully he shouldn't impede him too much here. As he does get out of the way for Cash. Friday looked like he was held up actually. He's lost quite a bit of ground. Yeah, he's lost about a second almost to Cash that time in the lap traffic. Adrenaline is swooping around down there. Mr. Lubley says Rip It Up playing the long game, trying to pinch first at the later stage of the race. Come on, my son. Maybe he's going to pull a strategic masterpiece as Rip It Up, although he did arrive about 2 minutes before this thing started. As we see Ilson lapping Borch there. So Ferrelli losing a lot of ground in the lapped cars. And there's Adrenalina in the background. He's not far off now. 2.2 seconds separate them now, with the car of Nico in between them. And Nico gets out of the way as much as he can. Doesn't quite lift off for him, but still in the way he's letting him through. That's very close. That's no ideal, but if you can get around him, that's not a problem. Yes, he can get around him. And now Adrenaline can try and get his task of Ferrelli, his task of chasing down Ferrelli done and dusted, because Ferrelli's lost a lot of ground. He's now 3 seconds behind when he was 1.7 behind the previous lap around. So he's lost another 1.3 in the lapped traffic. Shows you what lapped traffic can do to you. 55 laps to go in this race. Laps passing very quickly indeed. Vector on a lonely fourth. Has been sitting there for a while. Adrenalina got the run off the line, was in first, made a mistake and lost the lead. Lost 2 positions actually. They're trying to get at least one of those back. Right now, he's doing well in third and he's beginning to close on Ferrelli. I thought that was Ferrelli for a second. That's actually the car of Rip It Up, I think, is it? Or Borch? No, it's not Rip It Up, it is in fact Borch. And Rip It Up is in 11th down there. Georgia running a bit wide there, trying to get to the action here. There's Ferrelli and Adrenalina in the same camera shot. Slightly quicker from him. He's now 2.5 behind. He's lost half a second to him actually. So it's nip and tuck between these guys. A mistake from one of them means one of the other will gain. Meanwhile, Broken Arrow has in fact got around Gavra eventually. So we did do it. Ilson in the background. Nico 9th now. And Dan in 10th with Rip It Up. Down in 11th. He's coming up. He's been lapped by Gav, it looks like, and Borch down in 12th. His teammate, so 11th and 12th for that team there. Teammates, of course, Rip It Up and Borch. So quick laps for them all. 13, 13, 13. But Cash is setting the pace. So it's 4 seconds now. So Cash has got some clean air to work with. And now begins to get into his groove and set the laps. He's got the fastest lap of the race already with a 1:12.8. Ferrelli, followed by Adrenalina. And Effector was a further 15 seconds behind. So he's gained a little bit, but not enough. So it's going to be basically follow the leader for a little while before we get to our pit stop stage. Laps pass very quickly at Laguna Seca. Laps, of course, being set are 1:12s. And another fastest lap for Cash, 1:12.79 for him. 13.1 for him and 13.5. So Kashnit is now in his groove. And once he's in his groove, there is no catching him. So you may as well say goodbye, Cash, and maybe see him at the pit stops. So let's see, what can Adrenalina do? Can he even catch Pirelli is the question. Well, it was 0.2 quicker in that in the first sector there. We got a gap of 2.9-ish to him. Let's see what it is in the middle sector. 19.6 for Cash, 19.7 for Pirelli, and a 19.5 for Adrenalina. So that's very good in race trim. So, exchanging lap times are these two guys. Giorgio is now 12 seconds behind Vectro, so he's closing. So, Ilson in 8th, Nico in a lonely 9th. All these guys down the back are lonely positions. Dan 10th. Rip it up 11th. He is 32 seconds behind Dan and 34 seconds ahead of Bort, so he's in the middle, literally stuck in the middle. Cash with a 25.8 and Freddy with a 26.0 and Adrenaline with a 25.7, so quicker than all of them. So he's gaining slightly, but the gap isn't changing, which is probably quite frustrating for him. So Pirelli faster than Cash that previous time, and Adrenaline even quicker again. So lap time's beginning to pick up. That's the car of Rip It Up getting out of the way of these guys. And 2 seconds now the gap. So the gap's come down quite significantly there actually. So Adrenalina has found pace somewhere. So Adrenaline again quite a lot that previous lap, so he could be challenging Pirelli quite shortly. The gap's 1.8 seconds now with 50 laps to go. So 20 laps have already passed. Doesn't seem like it, but they have indeed passed. So as always, if you do have any questions you would like to ask me, then do send them in, and I will do my best to answer them to the best of my ability. So Adrenaline lapping quicker than both of these guys right now. Kashnit's got a 5-second lead over Pirelli, which is comfortable. But Adrenaline is now beginning to sniff Pirelli in front of him. A bit slower than him that previous time, only by a couple of hundredths. Not going to change the gap significantly. What colour pants have I got on? I've got grey for your information. Yeah, the commentator's pants is grey. Vector ways behind, and Giorgio coming up to lap Nico in the strip off of the car. So Pirelli was quite quick that previous time actually, so that wouldn't have helped Adrenalina's chase of him. But still the gap remains about 2 seconds. But the gap has stayed around the same between Pirelli and Cash there. So we should see pit stops in a couple of laps time. About 14 laps we should see the first pit stop, maybe even earlier, depending on strategies. I'm not sure what Laguna Seca is like on tyres. That was a great sector from Pirelli there, 19.412, and the gap is now 4 seconds. He's gained a second on his teammate there. So good stuff there from Pirelli. That's a car gone off there. That's not going to help Adrenaline at all. He would have had to hold off for that. That was Ilson, I think, was it? It was indeed. He comes into the pits, so there's damage or something on that car, but he's going to take a pit stop and get some tyres on. Yeah, that definitely compromised Adrenalina. Pirelli was 0.6 quicker than Cash that previous time at 13.001 from him there. But Cash will respond. Let's see. Let's see, compare sectors. There we go, 25.7. Which compares to, well, matching each other essentially there. Adrenalina with a 25. Well, no, he beats both of them by 0.2 of a second there. So the gap has gone up because of the lapped car there. So Adrenaline will not be happy with that. But he's got to get on with it. Pirelli's beginning to close on his teammate now. He's another 0.2 quicker that previous time. 3.9 the gap now. So let's see. Beginning to get interesting. So it's 13.2 for Cash. It's going to be a 13.0, so 0.2 quicker for Pirelli. So let's see what he can do. Cash is coming out to some lap traffic. That is rip it up, I think. He gets out of the way. And does he do the same for Pirelli? Surely he will. Considering where he is. He does. Backs way off just to make sure he can. Just to make sure he can make it. Pirelli carried a lot of speed through that corner, as you could see. And I think either Cash is tyre saving or Pirelli's got some great pace. So is Adrenalina, by the way. But Pirelli's now beginning to become consistently quicker than Cash. So very interesting stuff between the two teammates here. So the gap now sits at 3.5 seconds, we'll say. Yeah, 3.1 as they come across the line there. Someone hit the wall on the exit. That's Gavra. Cash gets around them. Look at the lap time. Fastest lap from Pirelli that previous time out. 12.719 versus a 13.4 for Cash. So either Cash has got a problem or Pirelli is absolutely flying. So now he's got the car of Gav in between them. Let's see if Gav can get out of the way as quickly as he can. So we stare at the ground. Gav bounces over the curb and gets out of the way of Pirelli. But yeah, again, Pirelli is just going quickly. Nothing funny about it, he's just going quickly. And now they're beginning to get to some more lapped traffic. And Cash is in. Cash in from the lead of the race. So I think his tyres are going off. Pirelli will stay out and he will have to try and set as fast as lap as he can to get the overcut on his teammate here. Cash is going for the undercut. Adrenalina will go in the pits as well. He follows suit. So Cash's box is right at the end. We have another car in as well. That looks like the car of Dan is in as well. Rip It Up will then take 10th off him. So he will go into 10th position. Will Rip It. Or is he a lap down? I think he's a lap down. No. Yeah, he is a lap down, unfortunately. So no positions gained. Cash still in the box. Adrenalina, is he still in the box? Yes, he is. Where's Vector? This could give Vectro third. It will actually. It'll be tight with Cash actually. So here we go. Well, Cash will have a shallow line coming at end of the first turn. This could be tight. Vectro versus Cash. On the brakes, Cash will have a better line. I think he will come out in front. Yes, he will. So, interesting. Vector is now on the back of Cash, but Cash is on fresh tyres, remember. So that won't help him. Pirelli is lapping like so quickly indeed, and Pirelli will surely dive. Yes, he will. So will this give Pirelli the lead of the race? I'm not sure. In comes Pirelli from the lead of the race. Strategy is going to play a huge part here. We have a retirement that looks like Borch out of this race. It is indeed. And in comes Pirelli from the lead of this race. Cash is in the corkscrew. Vectro's following him. So interesting. This may give Vector second. Can Vector cause a huge upset here, or will he dive in the pit lane? He sees a chance, maybe he will. Ferrelli's still in the box, so this could be tight. He needs to be leaving now. I think Cash may just do it. Yes, he's leaving his box. It's not going to be enough though. He's going to get on the power, but Cash is going to get out in front. It's going to be a run down to turn one. Cash is going to get in front, but Ferrelli's going to have a tighter line. So here we go. I think Cash is going to do it though, and Vector's with him. It's going to be tight with Vector. It's going to be between Vector and Ferrelli here. Vector's going to get in front actually, so that's going to be interesting. Top 3 battle. Here we go. Vector's on old tyres. Now Ferrelli's going to try and get past Vector here, which is not an easy task. Of course, Vector with strategy has managed to get himself out in second, but he hasn't made a stop yet. So fresh tyres on the Ferrari B cars, and now Cash can push like hell and try and see if he can pull away from his teammate. Very close in the pit lane, great stuff. But Vector now in probably an artificial second, but what can he do is the question. This is going to be a hindrance to Ferrelli as he tries to get round the Dutchman. Cash is coming up to a lapped car. That is going to be Ilson in 8th. So he's got to get those tyres up to temperature as much as he can. Then have the lap traffic. The slipstream of the lap traffic. But Vector still stays out, and Ferrari's going to be challenging him. Surely we've seen great battles between these guys in Formula B before. Ferrari's going to be really confident on the brakes, and Vector's going to go wide and try and see if he can hold it around the outside. I think he will be able to. He's going to be still on the inside. He's going to change to the inside for the next corner. So Vector will probably hold on. He's going to back out and give Ferrari that second place. And now he can chase down his teammate, but he's already lost a lot of time thanks to that battle there. 3 seconds now the gap. What can Vector? Can Vector come back at all? He's now in 3rd. So he's in a good position. Adrenalina is in 4th after his pit stop. Vector definitely not as quick as the guys up front, and he's going to be in lap traffic. He's going to get by there quite easily. And now Cash has got a 3-second lead over his teammate, a valuable 3-second lead. Very, very nail-biting stuff in the pit lane. Almost became a battle for the lead, but not quite. Became a battle for second, and Vector still following Ferrari there. This is benefiting his race. Will Vector come in? No, he will stay out. He's doing a very long stint. Might try go to the halfway mark. 35 laps. So now, Ferrelli, obviously not as quick that lap because he was in a battle. That's Broken Arrow coming out of the pit lane there. About to be lapped. Hopefully he doesn't come out in front of Ferrelli. He should get out of the way shortly for him. This isn't helping him. That was an awkward place to get out of the way. But does it anyway. Yeah, that definitely didn't help Ferrelli because he's now losing time to his teammate. Both these guys on fresh tyres. Probably the same strategy. Probably going for a 2-stop perhaps. But Ferrelli a little bit quicker, and Vector not able to match them, of course, because he's on old tyres. Adrenalina on new tyres isn't able to match these guys. Giorgio now in 5th. Broken Arrow 6th. Gavra 7th, and Ilson beginning to challenge Gav actually. So let's see what goes on here between Ilson and Gavra. The man who the league is named after, the guy who founded all this. So Ilson, be careful if you take him out your band. Just kidding. But let's see. Here we go. Looking to the outside, Gavra covers it. And coming to the final corner, Ilson will have the run down the main straight. Gavra hasn't made a stop yet as far as I know. Ilson has, so he'll get the slipstream. He'll already probably be alongside it come down to the final turn, or the first turn should I say. Alongside. And should get the move done. Easy move up the inside. Gavra might try and hold her on the outside if he can. He'll lock up that inside front and will lose 7th position. Ilson will move to 7th now. And Ferrelli catching Cash. I think Cash must have had a mistake because that was a slow sector from him. So this is becoming a very intriguing race of strategy, because we've never seen it that tight in the pit lane before. So now Vectro comes in the pit lane at last to take his pit stop. He did a long stint that might benefit him in the later runs, later laps. These guys will be on older tyres, he'll be on newer tyres, but that will give Adrenalina back a podium position, and Pirelli can definitely go on the chase of his teammate now. But it's back to the old Formula B ways. It's a 1-2 for Ferrari B once again. 40 laps to go. That isn't very long, of course. It's 40 laps of basically 1 minute laps. There's about, I would say, 40 minutes. Oh, I wouldn't say 40 minutes. A little bit more. Let's see. We'll check. Yeah, 1.13 multiplied by 40. About 45 minutes to go in this race, so not that long. But both of the leaders are in the same camera shot, which is interesting and intriguing. And we have a car on the wall that looks like Rip It Up. That looks like he's in the wall. He is. He's had an accident. So, not ideal. He's unfortunately in last position, but he's doing well, considering he arrived about a couple of minutes before it started. So the main battle is up front between Pirelli and Cash. Cash a little bit quicker that previous time, but it'll be nip and tuck between these guys. If Pirelli can just keep this gap, this could make this pit stop battle very interesting, because it will come down to strategy if these guys can't catch each other or gain gaps or anything like that. A couple of hundredths between them, really. Very close. It was always the way in Formula B that these guys would be almost battling each other, but it didn't end that way. Formula B went to Pirelli. It was still a Formula B car that won the well, it was a Ferrari B car that won the championship, and Adrenalina going off. So mistake from him there. Vectro's now lapping Gavra on fresh tyres. He's come out in 4th. And while any other battles going on, doesn't look like it. Nico is a further minute behind. He's coming out of the pit lane actually. So out he will come, and he's gonna be I think he'll just come out in front of Dan. So he will have the advantage of a shorter line through turn 1, which will help him if he gets it right and doesn't get on the power too audaciously. But he will have Dan lurking behind him. But an interesting nip and tuck battle for the lead here between Cash and Pirelli. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask us, make sure to send them in the chat. We're getting closer to 200 subscribers. If you can get us there, that'd be fantastic. I need to adjust my wires, it's all over the place. So it was pretty much an equal lap time between Cash and Pirelli that previous time out. So, exciting week of motorsport ahead. We have the Monaco Grand Prix followed by the Indy 500. Well, we're on the same day, so I'm gonna have that on my laptop as well as the Monaco Grand Prix. Well, actually, ESPN, so I could probably watch it. So it'll be interesting to see. I hope Alonso can do really well. It looks like he can do really well. So the gap's stable, but Adrenalina could become a threat later in the race, perhaps. Well, Ferrari was quite a bit slower than Cash that previous lap. But then again, once Cash's tyres start to go off, Pirelli began to bounce. Again, set the timing sheet to light. He has the fastest lap, so he's got that going for him. I've become tangled in my wires. I'm going to get around that there. Adjust my mic stand, which is just a table, but hey. Adrenalina is 10 seconds behind, and we have lost Rip It Up from this race. So our second retirement is Officer Rip It. So now we have just 10 drivers left in this race, and that's Nico getting passed by Dan in very strange circumstances. Otherwise, the field is very spread out, so the closest we have is Adrenalina, Ferrari, Cash. So Cash now beginning to go quicker. But Adrenalina set good lap times that previous time out, so he's matching these guys up front. A couple of thousandths of a second separating Ferrari and Adrenalina that time. He's got a gap of 10 seconds, as we said. About 100 separating Cash and Ferrari, followed by a quicker time from Adrenalina again. This is a theme. We're now at the halfway mark of this race, so I would have thought that stops might have waited until this time in the race-ish, but we may see them with about 20 laps to go. Retiring, saying, you gotta know when you're dangerous, and I was dangerous. I was better off out of the race. Well, you can stick around and watch if you wish, as we watch the intriguing battle up front. Battle of strategy between Cash and Ferrari, because it was so close coming out of the pit lane. No practice, didn't want to cause an accident. Well, that's good. At least we have a reason. Adrenalina, whereas he's lost time. Ferrari picked up the pace that previous time out, but again he went quicker than both of them. So nothing to separate these two guys. 3 seconds is the gap, and 3 seconds it remains. What can Adrenalina do? He goes a little bit quicker. He goes exactly 100th quicker. And Vectra, how far is he behind these guys? 33 seconds, and he's got... Adrenaline has a penalty, so that's going to allow Vectra to close up a lot. I think he thought he crashed. He's like, oh my god, the gap's descending. Oh, it's gone back up again. So that will scupper his chances. But it is a very intriguing nip and tuck battle between the two leaders here. Because at this stage, the field is very spread out, and we're just watching lap times. Almost identical. It's quite amazing, these guys. Oh, that was Cash going wide. So that's going to allow Ferrari to close up a lot. Some rare mistake from Cash. That's going to put him out of his rhythm for a second. That's going to allow the gap to come down to just under a second. So very interesting indeed. So now, that might hamper strategy for Cash. If Ferrari sticks at this gap, can he stick at the gap is the question. Because he will have now the benefit of a slipstream. He got a little bit bouncing over the curb there. I think he got away with it though. But the gap's staying stable at 1 second now. So they're both within the one shot, and they're both going to be within the one corner now. So on the brakes, Ferrari, I think he's done, can't believe his luck now. He gained two-ish seconds there. See what the lap times are virtually identical again. 600th of a second is all it is separating them, but it is advantage Cash right now. But the gap is stable at a second, like I said. So it could get interesting. Fastest lap of the race at the moment is a 12.719 set by Ferrari. They're both within the one shot in the one corner at the corkscrew there. So I'm intrigued, and I hope you are too. Again, Cash a bit wide there. So maybe he's starting to feel the pressure a little bit. I'm sure if they are on the party together, I doubt they'll go. Maybe they will go wheel to wheel. He's much closer than he was that previous time. I'd love to see the two teammates go wheel to wheel in the Ferrari B cars. We could see that now, actually. Pirelli is very close this time out. That's about 0.4 of a second separating them. One corner. It's amazing stuff in round one to see the Ferrari B so close together. So Cash lost a bit of time. He did go wide somewhere, but now Pirelli is putting the laps together and is putting the pressure on Cash with 30 laps to go, which is about another 40 minutes. Or about 40 minutes. So we're just going just over a minute a lap, and Pirelli is sticking with his teammate, and this is so intriguing. A couple of thousandths of a second separate them. Got the lapped car of Gav to come up now. So hopefully Gavra will get out of the way and look past and see, oh my god, I guarantee the commentators are going to love this. And we are. Well, I am, because I'm the only one here, but nah, we'll ignore that. And into the final corner, he'll have the benefit of the slipstream, but so will Cash. A distant toe off Gav he will get. 0.8 of a second now the gap. So Cash gained a little bit there. He lost 0.3, did Pirelli that time out, but he's still close. And that's all that matters. A common thing to see through that corner. Oh, Gav not getting out of the way as much as Cash would like. He's held him up a lot there. And Pirelli has gained some time there. Well, about 0.1 of a second he lost. Not too bad, but since he's so close, that does mean a lot. Camera work great as always. So is Cash feeling the pressure, I wonder? They're virtually setting virtually identical laps, but again it was advantage Cash, so I don't think that affected him too much that time. Pirelli, a bit of a tank slapper, that wouldn't have helped him there. Through the last turn, I think he's losing time. Slightly lost about 0.1 that time. It's gonna be 6 and a 7. Yeah, just as I guessed. Adrenaline lapping quicker than both of them, but he's quite a ways back. He's 16.5 seconds behind. So it's only a matter of time really before we see these guys get close. Because once they get the pit stops done, it will be very tight for track position. They're coming up to another lapped car. That's a battle, I think. Is that Dan? That looks like Dan and Nico. It is indeed. So they're coming up to this battle, and these guys probably won't want to give up positions too easily because these guys are having their own battle. Look how close Pirelli is this time. So again, probably another mistake from Cash. This is getting interesting, ladies and gentlemen. It's now 0.6 of a second the gap. I don't think you need to see it though. You can visually see it, and Cash is having to back off because there's a lapped car ahead. But he's going to get a benefit of a slipstream off the lapped cars, which will help him stay ahead. So it's strategically played there from Cash. But again, Pirelli is close. And this is the battle for 9th and 10th. Cash goes up the inside, and Pirelli will follow suit. So Cash having to carve his way through is helping Pirelli because he can just follow. And Nico is out of the way, and that will not help his battle with Dan. Maybe Dan will be fair with him. But that actually helped Cash in the end. He gained a couple of tenths. So we'll go back down the field to the battle for 9th and 10th. I think Dan is losing ground to Nico. So we'll go back up the front to Pirelli and Cash. Almost 28 laps to go. So we could see another stop coming shortly. I feel that there's another stop coming. So I don't think these guys are risking having a battle just yet. Perhaps after the final round of pit stops. It was advantage Cash that time around. But he can't relax, and that's not something you hear often from Cash. That he can't relax. So always good to see the top two in the same camera shot. Well, Cash beginning to pick up the pace again. As they rise up the hill, it's now going to be, well, it's going to stick in 9/10. So they're still virtually matching each other, and Pirelli's not letting him go easily. So, great stuff. And it's not at the conclusion yet. So if you haven't done so already, make sure to follow Official Gavra League on Twitter. If you'd like to make a business inquiry and like that, anything official related, send us an email to officialgavraleague@gmail.com. And make sure to subscribe to the channel, of course, to get all the latest updates on the streams and stuff. Pirelli's a little bit closer this time, if you notice. I'm currently scrolling through Twitter right now. And just keeping an eye on the battle up front there. So, it's going to be an interesting conclusion. And I really don't know if how this is going to end. It's going to be between the two teammates, of course. We're going to see a Ferrari B winner. But then again, maybe not. As far as Adrenaline behind, he's still about 17 seconds adrift. And that was a mistake from Pirelli there. And we heard a car hit the wall. That's somebody heading in the pits, I think. That looked like... Oh, that wasn't somebody heading in the pits. That was just a glitch, I think. Oh, no, it was Giorgio heading the pits, excuse me. So Giorgio in the pits, so he was one of the early stoppers. So these guys will be feeling a pit stop coming on again. Which one bites first? Leader will always get preference, of course. Pirelli needs to keep with Cash as much as possible. But it is oh so close for this. 26 and a half laps to go. 25 and a half laps to go, sorry. And as always, you can vote for your driver of the day in the chat, and let us know who you think is going to be the best driver, or vote for the best driver you think put on a performance here today, or who put on the best performance here today, in your opinion. Pirelli was way quicker in the middle sector than Cash that time. So this should be a quick lap from, and they're still setting 13.1s and 12.9s, which is remarkable pace. And that was a 12.9 for Pirelli versus a 13.4, which is getting juicy. So, will we see some wheel-to-wheel with these guys, or will Cash dive in the pits and spare us a battle? Or will we see Cash dive in the pits and then Pirelli dive in the pits and have a wonderful race to the pit exit between the two of them? Any of them are likely. And that looked like a mistake from Cash, actually. Well, it didn't actually, because he was actually quicker by a couple of hundredths. But what's the gap? It's a 0.7 of a second, and tank slapper for Pirelli there. So he's lost a tenth or two there. Yeah, so he's got to do that all again. Does Cash come in? No. So we're going to wait even longer. Maybe they're even doing a one stop. Who knows? Vectro going quicker than Adrenalina, interestingly, with 38 seconds drift, so that's not going to come about. Oh, Cash made a mistake, and here we go. Ferrari's going to have a chance up the inside. Ferrari B are going to go wheel to wheel, and Ferrari's going to take the lead of the Grand Prix. He's done it. So, for Cash, a mistake. Ferrari leads in Laguna Seca. It was coming. That surely means a pit stop for Cash, but that's going to ruin his race, because now Ferrari's going to have a small gap. So surely a pit stop for Cash this time, or will he stay out and try and fight back? So Ferrari leads for the first time in Formula B or Formula C, the Formula C proper round. Let's see if Cash will come in. Does he? No, he doesn't. He's going to stay out and try and see if he can gain the position back. But they played it safe. Didn't go banging wheels. Cash went onto the gravel. But it's advantage Ferrari. But as we've seen, Cash has been consistently a little bit quicker each time. So this could come to an exciting conclusion. Yep, Cash, as we see, a little bit quicker. But he's got a gap of 1.3 to make up. Can he do it? Or will he force Ferrari to take a pit stop first? It's interesting to see. It will be interesting to see how things pan out. With the 22 laps to go. That gap is only, well, it's staying. It's actually come up a little bit. So Ferrari, I think, was quicker that previous lap, and he was quicker by a couple of thousandths of a second. 4 thousandths of a second. That's all that's in it. In pace, which is remarkable. Meanwhile, down the back there isn't much going on. Dan is coming out of the pit lane. That's after his second stop. So when do these guys come in, or will they come in? So down to the corkscrew, he's got Dan ahead to get past, has Ferrari. So let's see if he's courteous enough to let him through. The gap is reasonably the same. It's actually quite a bit quicker from Cash in that first sector. So he gained about a tenth of a second, which is going to be shown in the lap times probably. 12.9 versus 12.8. So again, quicker for Cash. So now Ferrari's got to find his way past the check, and he's done that, and now Cash has got to follow suit. We'll Dan get out of the way for him. He will do it after this. He'll get a benefit of a slight slipstream. Dan's not backing off just yet. Blue flag's been waved, and Dan's still not getting out of the way for Cash just yet. He does do it now, but that costs Cash a couple of tenths of a second. And Adrenalina in from third position. Now Vector will take third, I think, depending on when Adrenalina comes out of his box. It comes out now, so Adrenalina should come still stay in third. That's Giorgio trying to lap Nico, and they're gonna touch, and that's not gonna go down well with Giorgio, and he gets past eventually. And that's Cash in from second, so Cash bites first. So that means Ferrari will surely come out of the lead depending on his next lap. So now Vectro, where is he in relation to Adrenalina? He's still going to stay in fourth. He's secured fourth, and that's Nico having a little bit of a moment there in the background. But we're going to stick with Ferrari as he tries to set a quick lap. Out comes Cash. That was a quick stop from the Ferrari B team. And should get out in front of the lap traffic. Taking it easy through that pit exit. Ferrari at the corkscrew, setting blistering pace. He knows he needs this. It's going to be tight between him and Cash when it comes to the pit exit. And Cash needs to set a blistering pace on the way out as well. So Ferrari in for the lead of the race. This is crucial. It's going to be the final stop for the team, and that's going to be Ilson, or that's going to be Broken Arrow in the pits as well. And in will come Ferrari from the lead of the race and heads into his box. And is it going to be a good stop? Cash at the corkscrew. 19 laps to go, and it is nip and tuck between these two guys. Ferrari in his box. I think this might be good for Ferrari so far. It's good for him so far. Cash is going to come to the final corner. He set a good pace on his out lap. Ferrari's still in the box. He's still in the box, and it's going to be Cash who's going to lead. So a long stop for Ferrari, and that's ruined his chances. So the team not doing a good enough job, and Ferrari's going to come out in second. Maybe he underfueled the car, perhaps. And that has cost him a race victory, it looks like. He's now got a gap of 9 seconds to make up to Cash, and I don't think that's going to happen. So a long stop for Ferrari means that he sits second with Adrenalina still third. Vector fourth, Giorgio fifth, Broken Arrow pulling into the pits in sixth, Ilson seventh, Gavra eighth, Nico ninth, and Dan in 10th. But can Ferrari somehow chase his teammate down? Can he do it? I'm not sure. So interesting developments in this race. 18 laps to go. It all looks set to be a Ferrari B victory. But an interesting race nonetheless. Strategy played a huge part. And it was interesting strategies being played out. So Cash had an excellent outlap, which meant that Ferrari could not get the jump on them. So hello to everybody watching, wherever you are in the world, welcome. And we got a car spinning there. That's Giorgio around at the corkscrew. That wasn't a great place to go off. Not that he could help it, of course, but not the best of places. So the field is very spread out. No battles as yet. So all I can say is just sit back and watch as Cash attempts to cruise to victory here. And if you have any questions, make sure to ask them. And we now know that Pirelli has actually gained about a second there. So, interesting. But I think it's equaling out again. So pace-wise, it's not looking good for Pirelli. I think he's going to have to settle for a second position. But then again, if we flash back to Imola, we know that we shouldn't jinx things, as Cash disconnected on the final lap while leading the race, handing Pirelli a victory. So we see Gav lapping somebody, followed by one of the OMS Italia cars that seems to be Adrenalina. As he laps, oh, he's gone off actually, so that's not going to help, and that's going to be Ilson going around. I think that these guys might be battling. No, that's Dan actually being lapped by Gav, so it's a triple lapping going on, double lapping. Unfortunately, it looks like I will have to end off the stream, so apologies for that, but I will have to end off because it is getting quite late, so I do hope the result stays as it is. It looks like it's going to be a Cash victory, so if it is him, congratulations to him. If it is anybody else, congratulations to them, but unfortunately I will have to leave off here, so I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.